friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is a video I have just been super excited to make for a very long time. Not a very long time, but a pretty long time. An announcement that I have been talking about in a lot of my videos. If you've been watching them, I've been trying to get my home in order to specific regulations, things of that nature. So if you have figured out what I am doing, you are amazing. Hats off to you. Let me know in the comments if you think you knew or if you were right when I tell you what it is. But before I tell you what I am doing, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So you guys, so taking you back through my history really quickly. This is a very short version of my history, but I grew up in a single parent home with my mother. My father actually committed suicide when I was a baby, so I have no recollection of him at all, and you can imagine how hard that was on my mother. I had an older brother as well, and I do say had because unfortunately he has also committed suicide. We are going on almost 8 years ago now. So with that being said, our family had a lot of struggles, and when I was about 15 years old, me and my mother actually parted ways, and I went and lived with somebody, and she moved to another state. Please don't stress, we love each other, we have reconciled, all is good and understood and forgiven. So anyhow, I went and lived with a family, and they very quickly decided they didn't want me, and I was moved to where I am currently living now, and I became what is called a ward of the state. So I did not have an actual parent. This state was my parent, my guardian, and I grew up in group homes from 15 up until just before my 18th birthday, when I was able to move out into my own apartment. So being in a group home was actually a very eye-opening experience for me. I actually take a lot of my memories from that time, and I use them to never feel sorry for myself, to get me through really hard times, and also that is part of why I am such a huge giver. I am any opportunity that I can, I give. I tithe, I give to, charitable donations. I always am trying to find a way to do something for other people and give back. So actually being in group homes and part of that time what was called CPS custody is now called DCS, so they've changed their names a little bit. Being a part of CPS custody at that time, I really didn't know much about the system that I was in. I just was part of it. I lived with in multiple different group homes, and I lived with females around my age. At one point I lived with a whole bunch of mothers, so there was lots of babies around, which I absolutely loved that. I was not one of the moms, but I had fun playing with everybody else's babies. But I didn't really know, why some kids went into foster care and why some didn't. I never was given the option for that. I just was in a group home. I didn't know that they were affiliated. So in a group home, you have staff members, workers that have gone to college, and they it's a house, and it could be a house like my house, and it just looks like a house, and it's just run with people who come in and they work, and they take care of you, and they feed you, and they make you do chores, and they solve conflicts and things of that nature. So anyway, so I did that, and I loved it because I love my mom, but she was not very good at reprimanding me. And when you have somebody whose literal job it is, their job is on the line, like they have to keep you in line, you really can't get away with stuff. So, you know, it worked out really, really good for me and kind of taught me a lot. But, you know, moving forward, I always thought, you know, I would love to work in a group home and help the kiddos out who are in these situations. So anyhow, transition through my life. You know, I was not able to graduate college in any field that I wanted to because I became a single mother at a very young age, and it just didn't work out for me, unfortunately, though behavioral health was never my plan. That's not what I wanted to do. I guess I just kind of had brushed that under the surface. So it wasn't really until I started going to church. Now, I became a member of my church. I am a non-denominational Christian. That is how I view myself. You know, to each their own, I really feel. And with that being said, I became a member of my church 3 years ago in September. And every year they kind of do the same lessons. They're kind of like reoccurring lessons with like a different take or maybe different scriptures and things like that. And one of the ones that kept coming up was, what is God using you for? So in my church, and in my faith, I believe that when we die and we go to heaven, we're going to be asked some questions. And one of those questions is, what did you do with my son, as in Jesus? And the other one is, what did you do with the gifts that I gave to you? So this idea of that we were all born with gifts just kind of kept sticking in my mind. And I thought, man, you know, like, what is my gift? I've always viewed myself as not being talented at really anything. I'm not good at sports. I'm not like very creative. I'm not, you know, artistic, you know, just kind of like a boring person is just kind of how I've always viewed myself. Not necessarily in a negative way, but just not having like a whole bunch to offer. I'm just kind of a person that lives my life. So I really, you know, took that to God and I prayed about it. And I remember immediately in that lesson, in my heart, it was children, save children. And I was like, you know, okay, like that's great, but how? And you know what, like that doesn't make any sense. And you know, I was working at the time. I was engaged to my fiance, who did not want any more kids, and we didn't make enough money where I could leave my job and you know, follow my dreams of what God wanted me to do, or whatever that really meant. So, you know, with that being said, I just kind of thought, you know, well, I'm just not the kind of person that's going to be able to, you know, do that part. And I'll just keep doing what I can do, which is, you know, donating and helping and, you know, things of that nature. Sorry, I got interrupted, so I kind of forgot where I was. But essentially I was saying, you know, like, I'm just gonna kind of do what I can and not listen, really, truly not listen to the desire of my heart. And, you know, that lesson came around the next year and I'm like, you know, immediately it was, you know, save the children. And I was like, man, you know, I really want to, I really want to do something, but how? And so, again, he was still my fiance at that time. I had talked to him and, you know, I was like, can we adopt children? And he was like, absolutely not. So that, you know, that wasn't it. That wasn't the answer. And it was like, okay. So anyway, last year he and I separated. We are still great friends. So, you know, it was for the better. We definitely wanted two different lives, and that's totally okay. We are much better the way that we are, and Cameron, our mutual son, is much better the way that we are. So anyhow, you know, then I was on my own, and then I ended up getting pregnant with Hannah. So we're gonna, you know, cut to 2020, right? The year 2020. It's just a year of just craziness, whether it's happy craziness, sad craziness. It's kind of a crazy year. For me personally, this is my year. This is the year when I finally get to live the life that I have always wanted to live. And this decision that I have made is just bringing me even closer to God and fulfilling my purpose. So I know you guys have, in the news and in the media, seen a lot of stuff for the harm that is being done to children. I don't know what made it so loud this year, but I am a victim of sexual abuse. And so when I started hearing about all of the trafficking that is going on, and you know, I really kind of closed my eyes to it. I didn't want to know. I knew that bad things were happening and children were being hurt, and I didn't want to read any stories. I didn't want to know, because it would reopen my doors, and knowing that there was children out there and there wasn't somebody to protect them or save them in those moments would make me feel like a failure, because I wasn't there to help those kids, even though I have no idea who these kids are. I don't know where they are. You know, it's not even possible that I would be saving them. But it was just things that I couldn't deal with. And I think when you put a blind eye to it and you don't read the actual stories or listen to the stories of these children, literally children, like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, you know, think about your little kindergartner, you know, that you have, or your first grader, children that are involved in these situations. It got to a point where the voices were so loud in my head that I needed to read these stories. So I actually started following the Underground Railroad, and if you have an Instagram, I highly recommend supporting that company and their mission and everything that they're trying to do to save children from sexual trafficking, just human trafficking, altogether, being sold for goods, whether it's sex or something else. Children being used as a bargaining tool is sad. And it was when I read the story of a 6-month-old, yes, a 6-month-old, a baby, that my heart broke in more ways than it's ever broke before. And you know, I will spare you any details, but it really, and just so you know, that was in the United States. It made me realize that there's a lot of monsters out there, and there are children who really are in horrible, horrible situations. And I was reading the stories of these people, these volunteers, who became a safe place for these kids after they were rescued. They needed a safe environment and somebody to take care of them. And it reminded me of just, I don't know, kind of went full circle of what I had always wanted to do, was to be involved in just something to save the children, to help the children. And I prayed about it, and I prayed a lot about it. You know, I had contacted the Underground Railroad, and you know, to see if they needed volunteers, but I knew that wasn't it. I knew that wasn't what I was supposed to do. And then I don't actually remember the moment that it happened, but I was thinking of adoption, and I thought, I don't think that's the answer, and it was foster care. And I said, yeah, that's it. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I prayed about it, and I slept on it a lot, and I did research, and I kept feeling at peace. My pastor had actually taught me this: if you don't feel at peace about your decision, it's not the right decision. And I can't say that for your life, but I can say that has definitely worked for my life. And I felt at peace. I felt that this is what I was created for, was to save the children, to help the children. Now, I'll be honest, it sounds crazy. Nicole, you're a single mom, you have 4 children, you're unemployed. What in the world are you thinking? I get it. I do. I get it. And I had to take that to God and say, God, are you sure this is the right time? This is what you want from me and you want me to do? And the answer was yes. So, I went forward with it, and I have found the most amazing support team and group of people that are doing amazing things for children. Now, I don't have the exact numbers, but here in Arizona alone, there are over 14,000 children in the foster care system that don't have a home. And that's an alarming number of children. And a lot of them are older children. They're older teenage children. And they're gonna age out of the system because they never made it into a foster home. And whether they went to a group home like I did and they aged out, or they just lived in different situations and then they aged out of them. But being in it and taking the classes that I have taken, it is heartbreaking. I wish that I could help all of them. And to know that I can't it's heartbreaking. This is not something that I ever thought that I should do, because I'm a single mom of 4 children, and society is telling me no. People will tell me that it's not a good idea. But the life that I have lived, the things that I have been through, the mountains I have climbed, the battles that I have defeated, I'm absolutely ready, and I could not be more at peace with my decision. And I am so excited for my future, my children's future, the future of the children that I will do everything in my power to help. I can't wait. I am so grateful for my experiences in my past that equipped me with the knowledge and the desire to help. And I'm happy. I can't wait. I wish I could get my license tomorrow. So that's it, you guys. That is my secret, my big exciting news is you are looking at a future foster mom, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for this chapter to begin. My children are excited. My daughter has already rearranged her room and left one side completely blank for a bed or a set of bunk beds. So just some things to catch you up on. I am in the middle of what is called foster parent college, and I'm almost complete with that. I have I think a total of 3 more weeks left of classes. I have a CPR class that I have to do. I have, what else? I have a home study that I have to do. So I had to get a fire extinguisher, carbon monoxide detector. I had to put a padding on my trampoline. I had to put like all my medications and medicines, Tylenols, things like that are behind locked cabinets. I've had to kind of do something to get my house ready for an inspection and to make sure that my home is safe to take on kids. So in the foster world, you can just be a foster home. You can do a foster home for children with disabilities. That is not what I will be doing, because I do have my own children that I still need to give attention to and take care of, one of them being a baby. So I feel like at this time, taking care of a child with a disability, it just would be too much, unfortunately, for me right now. But there are a lot of homes that take care of children with disabilities. And there are also adult homes that are needed as well. So adults that maybe need some help with things. So there are a lot of options. And then there is also foster to adopt. And that is what I will be. So I will take children that the goal is to go back home. But if they are not going home, or if there's a child up for adoption, then I am an option for that, because I would be more than happy to be a permanent mom for a child who doesn't have one. Growing up, I always wanted 10 kids, believe it or not. Did I want to do it single? No, but I tell you what, I don't feel single. I've got the best support, and he's always there for me and has never let me down, and that would be my Father above. So anytime I need somebody or I need help with something, that's who I turn to. And I know that he's going to be here with me in this, because this is what he made me for. And I've got his support, I've got my family's support, my friends' support, and my children's support. And I'm really, really excited. So what that means for my YouTube channel, I know I'm still a small channel at this time, and I may forever be, and that's okay. I really do love making these videos and love making content for you guys and for myself to look back on. So I cannot talk about foster children. I cannot say their names, anything that's going on with them. I cannot show their faces. And I will do everything to protect. I should have foster children before the end of the year. I'm hoping for November. I'm hoping I can give a kid a good Christmas and, make them feel extra special. Maybe even a Thanksgiving. So we'll see how fast everything gets taken care of and signed and wrapped up. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Again, I am so excited. I'm thinking that I need to change my name, something that kind of reflects, who I am, a mom, a single mom, a foster mom, kind of all of this. So if you have any ideas, leave them below in the comments. I'm definitely thinking of doing something. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, especially to follow along with this journey. And again, I thank you guys so much. Absolutely love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.